Hi, this is Damien Foley, and this is my MBA journey at the Melbourne Business School. And the topic for today is leadership and the use of Myers-Briggs, so personality traits is what I'll be talking about. So what I'll go through is I started my day. I woke up this morning just before 8 o'clock, about 7:45. As I thought I wasn't going to be up early enough to go and do my workout. I showered, went to have breakfast, and actually my milk had already curdled, so I couldn't have breakfast this morning, milk on my Wheat Bix. So I ended up missing having breakfast. Now, that's important because I'll tell you later. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I learned today, or I've learned over the couple of days. So with the MBA at Melbourne Business School, in doing that, we actually get access as students to free. We get access to Microsoft Office 365. So we can download that and we get access to that for free. We also get access to a gym that's the Lincoln Square gym that's at the back of the Melbourne Business School. That's free with our membership. It is only open on weekdays between certain hours. But for the weekend only, we can use the gym at the University of Melbourne. So that's all free and part of our student fees. The other one is we actually get access to Fairfax newspapers for free online. And the Australian Financial Review is a Fairfax paper. So I haven't exactly accessed that yet, but that's something I want to do personally around my building of my assets, my share portfolio. I need to get back into reading the Financial Review. So just a couple of things that are important for doing that work-life balance, and it's part of our student fees that we get access to those. So what do we cover today? We covered several things. So basically what I'm about to talk about is just what was suggested to us or recommended to us is that after we do our classes, that at the end of it, we actually do a debrief of what we got out of those classes and what we took away from it. So I'm just going to give you a brief of what we did today and what I took away from it. So we done the Briggs Myer personality test, essentially. So we, as a syndicate, worked Sorry, I'm looking at my notes and they're in the distance. So as a syndicate, we worked on our self-awareness of our own traits, our pros and cons. We're going to be doing a SWOT analysis part of that. That will also contribute towards the assessment of our assessment and part of the group dynamics, including group dynamics as part of that. We also worked on mindfulness in meditation. As part of that, I'm probably going to, or what I'll endeavour to do is create a journal of what I was grateful for and of what I'm going to achieve either for the day or the next day. So as part of that, what I'm grateful for, what I was grateful for today was I have learned something new, and through other students about myself as a extrovert, and I learned about that compared to against or in comparison to introverts. how I react as an extrovert with introverts. So, which will help to improve my relationships, be it professionally or socially. So yes, journal of what I'm going to achieve tomorrow. Um, I do want to do the gym. I probably won't do the gym in the morning. I'll do it in the evening after after uni, after classwork. It's 1 a.m. in the morning, right at this moment. So again, I'll be getting up late to go to class. So I'll do that. I'll set about to do a workout after I do the do university. Um, also need to do some shopping. And sometime in the morning, I will also set about to do my SWOT analysis for the assessment. So they're important things that I need to do and achieve. We've done a group exercise as well and involved around leadership. Again, this is around extroverts and introverts. We discussed as part of that activity, that exercise. It posed the question to us as a class: what is leadership? I won't go into the details of what the actual exercise was. It's important that if you do the MBA, that you participate in it with a fresh mind, without going in already with a notion of how you contribute to that discussion. So it's that work. Can a follower? It also introduced the concept of, can a follower be a leader by example? Most of us believe that the perception is that a leader is this person that goes out and leads from the front, and everyone else following is just a follower, not a leader per se themselves in their own right. But that's not always the case. The people involved can all be leaders in their own right. So you can be a follower who is also a leader. And the other one is it okay to question the objective, as be it as a follower or a leader? If you're given a directive, are you in a position to question that objective if you don't believe that it's the right objective? Think of big organisations where there is a top-down approach to with plans and strategies, but if you've ever been in the position where you're at the coalface, customer service is probably a classic example of that, where you're dealing with people, interacting with them, your clients, on a regular basis, and you know what their needs are, more so potentially than those at the top who are passing down directives to achieve, which might be all well and great for at a top level, but not necessarily great for delivery to the user. So that's something you consider. I do need, so as part of my assessment, syndicate work. Syndicate, again, is a classy name for teamwork, group work. I need to do inventories for the assignment, so I've been going through and doing those. They're done as part of the readings, which again, because of the delay from being able to access Canvas, there was delays in getting to that, doing that work. So having to go through and do those now, and get myself up to speed as quickly as possible. So there was also actually yesterday afternoon, after our first day of classes, there was actually a post-orientation drinks with current students and past alumni. I didn't attend that. It's apparently only it was only apparently attended by 6 of our student cohort. We weren't a lot of the people I spoke to this morning told us that there were people walking around with Melbourne Business School hoodies that are a purple or a maroon hoodie, and we were told that they actually got those from attending that evening, which was something not actually communicated that day. So apparently it was somewhere around in some form of communication, but again, if it was on canvas, it probably got lost or not identified because everyone was too concerned about doing our readings. So a little disappointed that wasn't communicated as well as it could have been. So yes, that was the findings out of today and the feedback. So I've also done some more readings, and the readings also include not just reading articles. There's also the YouTubes. So I'll just go through and find my summaries for those that I've done. So I'm just trying to find. So I already spoke to you last night about how to become a better leader, and the summary I did for that. The next one I did was Introverts, the best leaders for proactive employers. So introverts, the best leaders for proactive employers. So the summary of that is introvert leaders are just as effective as their extroverted counterparts. Introverted and extroverted leaders can learn to change to other styles. So an introverted leader can adopt and learn and adopt a extroverted leadership style, and a extrovert can learn and adopt a introverted leadership style. Teams are most highly effective when introvert leaders have extroverted followers, as introverted leaders are more likely to listen to their extroverted followers. Extroverted followers are more likely to be throwing ideas and things at the leader, and that as an introverted leader, they're more likely to listen and take those on. And vice versa, an extroverted leader is more effective leading introverted followers, creating, and as an outcome of this, you can create more highly productive teams. So they've done this through a study, which resulted in introverted leaders had extroverted followers. They made higher returns, as well as extroverted leaders who had introverted followers created higher returns than compared to a extroverted leader who had extroverted followers. Everyone's trying to talk. Nobody's necessarily taking on board the cues, the ideas that are flowing. The contra to that is introverted leaders with introverted followers sitting down in a meeting. Introverted followers, you can hear the sound of a cricket because no one's wanting to speak up. They're more likely to sit back, both the followers and following a leader if they're introverted. So I don't 100% believe that, but this is what the studies are showing. So introverted leaders can be overlooked in the workplace as to an extroverted their extroverted colleagues for promotion. This is because the introverted workers are less likely to self-promote themselves, put themselves out there, and as an outcome be noticed by the by management or higher leaders above. And those who are extroverts demonstrate certain characteristics such as dominance, being vocal, putting forward their ideas, and these are perceived to be more leadership qualities, as to the introvert who sits back and doesn't is more a listener and observer. So, but the basis of this article is to say, well, irrespective, introverted leaders can be just as effective, if not more effective, than extroverted leaders, depending upon the followers and the team that they're in and involved with. So, yes. What was the other one? There was a TED Talk on Who Are You Really? The Puzzle of Personality by Brian Little. This was pretty interesting. So he talks about the traits of psychology, and he talks about the Big Five again, which I talked about the other night. The acronym that is used is OCEAN, OCEAM, O for openness, C for C is for, I've got to remember, C is for conscientiousness. E is for extroversion. And A is for agreeableness, and E is for need for stability or neuroticism. I can't remember what that was exactly. And extroverts are more likely to try licking their elbow. He discusses that, and then everyone in the audience actually tries to, or the extroverts in the audience try to start licking their elbow. There are three natures, there are three aspects to nature for an extrovert. There's the biogenetics, or the physiology or physiopsychology, sociogenetics, and idiosyncratics, the three natures of an extrovert. Extroverts require stimulation with interaction, whereas introverts require reduced stimulation. We are not always what we seem to be, in that, I'm not exactly sure what I meant by that. There we go. I'll have to go back and review that. He does make reference to introverts and extroverts between and men and women when it comes to the number of times they actually have sex per month. So introverted men 3 times a month, extroverted men 5.5 times per month, introverted women 3.1 times per month, extroverted women 7.5 times per month. So interesting little thing there. Communication, extroverts, when they speak, close speakers, they like to make eye contact. Diminutive terms. So they like to use easy, straightforward words. Charles becomes Charlie. They sort of call it call it for what it is. They just call it for what it is. So whereas an introvert is contextually complex, contingent, so weasel words is what it refers to. They try to avoid the directness of their words, whereas a extrovert will call it as it is, be black and white and straight to the point. So they're the traits of in communication styles between an introvert and an extrovert. The next thing that I did was around leadership topics of emotional competence. So one of the it was a YouTube clip by Big Think by Daniel Goleman. So that was around emotional intelligence. The summary of that basically is that emotional intelligence is about how we handle ourselves and our relationships. That's what emotional intelligence basically is. It says 4 domains in the YouTube clip, but then later on I did another reading and it has 5 domains. So it had self-awareness as the first domain, self-management. Then the one that wasn't put down was motivation. Was in another one, and then empathy, and then skilled relationships or social skills. So the ability to take all those and apply them in a contextual setting. So yes. Then also we learned that we can train or learn emotional intelligence. We can develop to be stronger, both as children as adults. It's the last thing to develop, emotional intelligence in the brain, and we have with the brain's plasticity, we can learn that at a later stage in our lives. So yes, not having emotional intelligence as a leader in an organization can be detrimental to the organization's mission. So essentially what it's saying is, if you're not aware or attuned to your staff's emotional needs, then you're going to not be an asset. It's going to be a liability, which was interesting. So there was another YouTube clip that I listened to, which was developing a growth mindset, the power of yet. So basically what that was around was looking at if somebody's got a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And they looked at children who, if they've got a growth mindset, they see a challenge as a learning outcome, and it's not just about it's not about whether they are right or wrong. It's about what they gain from what they've learned from it, even though they may have failed. So learning from their failures, and the purpose of this power of yet is that if they are not successful at it, it's not saying that you're wrong. It's about saying you haven't got it yet, so just not yet. Later on, you'll develop it. So we're talking about young 10-year-olds and how that's a more positive way to communicate for challenging exercises or challenges for developing a growth mindset, rather than saying, "Oh, you're wrong," saying, "Not yet. You're going to get. You haven't got it as yet, but you will." And that sets them a challenge to build upon, and they learn from failure. So that was interesting. So I was seen as a setback. And those that have a fixed mindset, they get caught up in the tyranny of now. So they look at their options instead of looking at it as a learning opportunity from their failure. They look at, next time they're just going to cheat rather than try and work harder. They'll try and find somebody else who did more poorly to benchmark against, and or they'll just run from the problem and just disregard it. So technical learning from failure versus the technical perfection expectations is the variation. So in a growth mindset, it's about praising praising around the process, the focus, and the perseverance in the challenge as the reward. The fix is about the reward being right. Is what they value for the reward, for the outcome from it being right. Rewards. So rewards for somebody with a growth mindset is around the effort that they put in, the strategies that they adopted, and the processes they used. Whereas for a fixed mindset, it's about success, right versus wrong. Terminology used in a growth mindset, you talk about, have they got it yet? Will they, in the challenge, they've got it, they have it, they've earned it, or you haven't got it yet, so not yet. Whereas in the fixed mindset, it's about pass or fail. That's it. Changing mindset. So in the growing mindset, they're about pushing boundaries and increasing in performance, making improvements. Whereas in a fixed mindset, it's about the meeting a standard or a benchmark to as a requirement, and there's a decrease in performance if they don't. So yes, equality was another aspect to it, or equality. So in a growth mindset, there's enhanced performance, and difficulty pushes boundaries. In a fixed mindset, it's I'm dumb, I can't do it. So it's very very closed. It's a very closed mindset in that regard, a fixed mindset. Whereas a growth mindset is all about pushing and for improvements and doing better and learning from it, learning from seeing failure as a learning outcome. So yes. Another YouTube was why leaders need to connect on an emotional level. So that was around Daniel Goleman's Heart to Heart. So about emotional leadership. It's about winning over hearts and minds, more so about the hearts. And if you can do that as a leader, then you're going to improve outcomes. There's the social brain aspect, so interactions at an emotional level in any relationship, be it personal or professional. So that's that social skills that was being talked about before, being able to take these aspects of emotional intelligence and the domains and being able to apply them and use them. The contagion principle, that was interesting. So it's about the contagion principle is about, as a leader, your mood will transfer or be picked up by your followers, your team, and as an outcome, your team, based upon the mood that they've picked up on, will impact their performance. So if you come in as a leader and you have an upbeat mood, the team will pick up on this mood, adopt it, and their performance will improve. Whereas if a leader comes in with a poor mood, the team will pick up on it and their performance will decline. They'll adopt that poor mood low emotional mood. So yeah, the leader's mood will transfer to become the team's mood, which will impact performance. Authenticity. It's basically, I was told about this in a when I go into a setting as a work interview, I'm pretty much straight to the point, and I'll somewhat say it as it is. I'm authentic. I was told that I'm authentic. I'll say how it is. I'm not giving an answer to the people there. I'm not telling them what they want to hear. I'm telling them what I feel they need to hear. So sometimes that means that I probably do this more so now than I used to. I go in there and I tell them what I feel is the right thing. Whether they feel that is a different question. So, and if I feel strongly about it or passionately, which I do around social matters such as social procurement, buying from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses, and buying from social enterprise, and the impacts that will have, and how corporates, I don't feel, are doing as well as they say they want to be. I'll say that. And that does obviously have an impact if I'm going into interviews where I'm talking to procurement people who feel that they are procurement, and I'm not, and I'm trying to say that, it could be done better, and essentially how they may perceive that is that I'm saying that they're not doing as good a job as they possible as they could be. Now, whether that's right or wrong depends on the organisation, depends on my perceptions, not necessarily of their organisation. I'm giving a general reflection, not necessarily about their organisation. But that happens. So authenticity is the people have what's referred to as a bullshit meter, and they can pick up on it. So the other question was grouches. So you can be a grouch and be the lovable grouch that hard on the outside, but you're a softie on the inside, and people pick up on that. So you're lovable. They go with that, or you can have the opposite, which is the grouch who's very hostile, critical, holds contempt, and will alienate and damage followers, which is very detrimental to the team or organisation if you got those people in there. Then it talks about self-awareness of your mood. So we're talking about how the mood affects it, your team, and how that affects performance. If you got if you're going with a mood and it's not a positive mood, it's a bad mood, what you need to first be aware that you're in that mood. You need to take a time to step back, pause, think about it, and apply some mindfulness. And mindfulness is about changing your mood or mindset, which is again, as I discussed previously, is something we did today. Or did I? Maybe I didn't. Oh, I did say about mindfulness, but I didn't tell you about it. So I'll just quickly wrap up on that part. So mindfulness, you can change your mood or mindset by using mindfulness or meditation. So the attributes of a natural leader in a group, Daniel said that he can identify those leaders in a group is they'll be the ones listening, observing, and notice the unspoken needs of the group and take steps to make it happen. So this is where introverts obviously shine, because they're the ones that will listen, observe, whereas extroverts are more likely to step out and be the ones starting to speak. So this is where introverts can, as a leader, leadership style can come to the forefront with their listening and observations, and being able to pick up on things that are emotional cues. So body language and things like that, tone and everything else. So yes, so what I was talking about, the mindfulness and in the meditation we done today as an activity, was we actually the lecturer actually took us on a mindfulness journey, and the thing that she had us think about as part of that mindfulness journey was the activity of breakfast. So that's why I was sort of joking at the very start of this when I was talking about when I woke up this morning and went to have pour the milk on my cereal. It was actually curdled. So when I actually done that mindfulness and meditation activity, where she mentioned thinking about breakfast, I actually thought about this morning and how I felt when I poured my milk out, and it ruined my breakfast because the milk was curdled. So I was not feeling very, it was a negative connotation. Breakfast was a negative connotation because it reminded me of the morning this morning when I had I wasn't able to have breakfast. My cereal. So yes, yeah. Look, I've moved into another reading. I haven't finished it yet, so I'll do that. So tonight, it's now 1:30 a.m. in the morning. It's becoming pretty standard, but I need to stop doing this. I need to be in bed by 10 a.m. 10 p.m. I've said that I want to get between 7 and 8 hours sleep. By the time I finish this, it's going to be probably about 2 a.m. in the morning, and I need to be up by 8. That's 6 hours sleep, so I'm not getting the sleep that I need, but I need to do this. I did do this afternoon when I came back from uni. I did actually, as soon as the first thing I did come back was go and have a gym workout for an hour. So I done 30 minutes on the treadmill and done 30 minutes of resistance training. So tomorrow, again in the morning, I won't be able to get that workout done. I'll wait till I come back from uni to do that. I do prefer doing a workout in the morning because it starts to get the oxygen flowing, getting the blood flowing, and so the oxygen gets in the blood and makes me feel more refreshed. And then I have a shower and I have my glasses of water and have my breakfast, and I feel very revitalized, ready for the day. So one of the questions I didn't get to ask the lecturer was around mindfulness and meditation. A lot of people I know will do that first thing in the morning. I'm curious as to how that plays in, what benefit that has. And then there's people I know that do the meditation and mindfulness of an evening before they go to bed. It helps them to relax and be more at ease. It stops their mind from running. Having things running through their mind about what they've done for the day or what they've got to do for tomorrow. So they use that mindfulness to bring them down so that they'll sleep. Me, I probably still do. I do, need about 30 minutes of television before I go to sleep, and that's my switching off, mindfulness, if you will. Don't necessarily pay attention to what's on the TV, but I'm sort of thinking to myself and zoned out and and not thinking about necessarily what I've got in the day, and letting my mind wind down, ready to go to bed. So maybe that's what this doing this video block is before I go to bed tonight is what I'm doing. So although I'm also using it to as a teaching tool and a record of my journey through the MBA as well. So yes, so that was me for today. That's my recap. I will possibly be talking to another MBA student from Melbourne Business School who I'm going through the student cohort tomorrow afternoon, I may do an interview with them, hopefully, on here, because just happens as I was walking out this afternoon from from completing lectures, we were talking about how we felt and what we were learning from, what we're taking away, and I said about we talked about how to best capture what we've done for the class, and one of the suggestions or recommendations was the debrief. And I was talking to him, so when somebody said, "Oh, I do a video blog," another person turned around and said, "Well, actually, I literally bought a domain name this morning, because what he's going to do is do a blog. So he's going to record his whether I don't know exactly whether he's going to record his learnings, or whether he's going to record what he's doing. I'm not entirely sure. That's something that I can find out tomorrow, hopefully as part of the interview. Very interesting guy. So I'll interview him tomorrow, and you'll get to start to meet some of the other student cohort doing the MBA at Melbourne Business School, not just myself, and getting their perspective of it through the interviews that I run with them. So, okay, that's me for my journey so far today. It's so tomorrow, or today I should say, because AM in the morning, will be my final day for leadership in class. We will have an assignment that's due in the next couple of weeks, which we're currently working on, and I need to contribute to. So yes, that's what I've got to work on for tomorrow. Okay. This is Damien Foley. You can follow this on YouTube at Damien Foley. You can also follow it on my website, www.damienfoley.com/MBA. You can also follow me on Instagram at DGFoley, or one word. Okay, guys, good night, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.